In the previous video I talked about how the open strings on the guitar link up to the keyboard and a little bit about major or minor chords. Well, I'm going to expand on that a little bit further because there are some bar chords on the guitar which are seemingly easy to play, but on the piano they're rather different. And I think it's important for a guitarist not only to be aware of that, but also to understand the music theory of exactly what's going on, because other chord types can be obtained using this theory. Let's have a look. So I had the open strings like this: E, A, D, G, B and E. The E major chord on the guitar, I raised some of the notes by placing my fingers on the fingerboard. So instead of this, I ended up with this. That moving to there, that moving to there, and that moving to there. That's essentially what the three fingers on the guitar are doing. The link to the previous video is below in the description box, so have a look at that if you just need a bit more of an introduction. Now I'm going to talk about bar chords today because it's easy on the guitar to play a major chord in any key by simply putting the same shape in a specific place on the fretboard. On piano it's a little bit more tricky. There's more to learn, there's more to work out here. So I'm going to show a G chord. Now this is a bar chord, an E chord, an E shape at 3rd fret. Now on the piano that means I've got an E, F, F sharp, G. So my chord on the piano, my E chord, now becomes G. I've got a G, a D, a G, a B, a D and a G. That's what I've got now. Now the G chord is one of only 6 chords in your 24 chords, your 12 majors and your 12 minors, that has all white notes on the piano. So it's a good place to start. We've got G major. But if I move up 1 fret on the guitar, I get A flat major. Now this is one of the chords on the piano, one of most of the chords, where actually you get a combination of white and black notes. So we've got a G chord here. If I move up a half step as I did on the guitar, that means I move up a semitone on the piano. G becomes an A flat, the D becomes an E flat, that G becomes an A flat, this B becomes a C, the D becomes an E flat, and the G becomes an A flat. So I've got one white note nestling in amongst all the other notes which are all black notes on the keyboard. G had all white notes, A flat is all black except for that note, except for the C. There's his C on the guitar. Now if I go up once again, I get an A chord. This time on the piano it's mostly white notes but with one black note. So I had the A flat chord there. So if I move all of that up 1/2 step further, 1 fret, A, E, A, C sharp, E and A. So on the piano it's more like a mirror image of A flat. We had mostly blacks with a white, and then here we have mostly whites with a black. And that's kind of how this works. So once you've got used to the position of the major chords on the piano, you can see how the sharps and flats work. Now, unfortunately, this is not called G sharp major. That's actually not musically correct. Theoretically you can have it, but actually in practice you can't. That's where we have to start just introducing the idea of a major scale on here versus the piano. So that's the next thing. Let's have a look at G major scale. So on the guitar, it's all in a closed position, middle finger, last finger. Next string, we've got index, middle, last. then next string, index, annular, last, next string, index, annular, last, next string, middle, last, and then the top string, or the thin E string, we have an index and middle. The idea being that that pattern will work anywhere on the fretboard, just like the bar chords. That's G major. Now on the piano it does this. So a G major scale has an F sharp in it all the way along, so it's just one sharp in your key signature. If I go to A flat major, I've got 4 flats. I have exactly the same pattern on the guitar, so I haven't had to learn anything new. All I've done is start it in another place. On piano, it's a little bit more tricky. So we've got a combination of black notes and white notes on the piano. It's a good idea when you're sat with your guitar, using your ear to correct yourself as you go. Now all of these keys have different combinations, different numbers of sharps or flats. In a major key, you'll have only flats or only sharps. Or in the case of C major, you have no sharps or flats at all. If I go up to 8th fret and play a C major chord, a C major scale, all white notes on the piano. Other keys have different combinations. B major, which is only 1 fret down on the guitar, has got 5 sharps. Now it's important to learn your major scales, because actually what it does is it gives rise also to the chords you would usually have in a song. C major, D minor, E minor, F, G and A minor. Those 6 chords you will find in a pop song, and they're all based on the scale, the notes of the scale in C major. So all of those chords that I've just played will only have white notes. Other keys have different sharps or flats, will have different chords, but they will contain those sharps and flats wherever they occur in the scale. This is the tricky bit, and I'm going to go through this in the next video with just one of these keys to show you about these chords.